I know of people who buy jars of Nutella and they just eat the Nutella from the
Yes.
jar. I can't imagine doing that personally, but you know, I was in a supermarket yesterday, and I always look at what other people are buying, uh,
Mm-hmm.
not because no, not because I care. It's just a little social observation, a little bit of a psychological experiment, and there was um, there was a woman who was really fat, and I was like really fat. It was kind of just huge, basically. It was like about it was like about 15 of me, right? I mean, she was so big. She was
Mm-hmm.
huge, right? And she was standing in front of the where the chocolate was, and she was, and this, and this,
Mm-hmm.
and this, and this, and this, and this, and in the back of my mind was, you know, you should say something, and then, and then my thought is, it's too late. It's already too late. This person cannot be saved. So, uh, um, uh, crazy. Or I could just point out the fact there's a fitness center above the shop, but probably wouldn't appreciate uh, that either. But you can tell from what people buy if they have a healthy lifestyle or
Mm-hmm.
not. Um, you know, you can the the old man with the shaking hands is buying a bottle of Slivovica and 2 cans of beer, right? It's like, okay, okay, right. Yeah, and most food companies are chemical companies. That's a scary realization.
Yes, it is.
Um, and most governments mix their drug administration organizations with their food administration organizations, which is uh, which is also quite scary. Anyway, um,
And what about your day?
uh, let's see. Well, I was awake until 2 o'clock in the morning, um, doing a live video on Facebook that I wanted to do. I set myself this target of one live video every day that I want to do on Facebook. And the great thing is that Facebook keeps blocking me and cutting my feeds to Facebook. So all these people who think that the internet is a big free open resource, they have no fucking clue what is going on. They have no idea, right? Certain kinds of Jesus Christ, my mouse just moved around the screen all by itself. right, right now. I'm not even. My hands are here. My hands are here, and the mouse just moved around the screen by itself. Right. Um, so they have no idea. Certain websites, every time I open, what is that?
What?
What's that noise?
The airplane is going,
Oh, okay.
so
Do
maybe
you,
that.
you have some kind of airport or something near there? Airfield?
No, but maybe just it is going by here, and
Just for fun. Okay.
it's a heliport is near our flat,
Uh-huh.
but that wasn't the
Okay.
heliport.
Okay. I thought it was thunder at first. It sounded like thunder, but then I realized it was an airplane. Anyway, um, I forgot what I was talking about. Help me.
About the pages on
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
internet.
Pages on
Yeah.
Facebook. So, yeah, if you've got Facebook open, and you're doing a live stream and you open certain web pages, Facebook turns off.
Mm.
It doesn't happen instantly. It takes about 30 seconds, but then Facebook just shuts down.
Mm-hmm.
So WorldNet Daily, Infowars.com, sometimes Drudge Report, Breitbart.com, Russia Today. You open these websites or web pages, and Facebook turns off.
Mm.
And I've tested this. Like I've tried. I was like, it can't be this web page. This is ridiculous. So I go through the whole system and I open that web page again, and the Facebook turns off. So this is crazy. And I've got 3 computers running 3 different operating systems. Basically, they're running Windows, but in different ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've got 3 different computers running 3 different operating systems, and it happens on every computer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm.
not the computer, it's not the browser, it's the fact that Facebook is not letting people share certain kinds of information.
Mm-hmm.
And the average person, I've had so many debates with people who say, oh, that's not possible. These people have no idea. Most people have no idea about anything. Most people have a large amount of knowledge about very little things, most of which are not important, like who scored the winning goal in the 1959 World Cup final or something like that. So, it's really not an important piece of information. Or, what's the world record for the 100 meters race, and other ridiculously stupid things. Um, so. They know the names of all the actors, but they don't know the names of any of their politicians. So it's a bit crazy. So I've been fighting with this for about 3 months now to find a system where I can share information and not be removed from the internet. And I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it. It's far more complex than anybody could imagine. And so last night was test number about 150 to get everything to work. And what I'm doing now is I'm streaming video through my phone and using data from my computer, so that the phone and the computer are not connected, and so Facebook on my phone doesn't know what my computer is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore I can and then I also you can't open certain browsers. So what I wanted to do was present information and then share in real time the articles and the information, which I think is a very professional and organized way to do things. But you can't do it. Facebook doesn't let you do it unless it's information about something pointless like ice hockey or why grass is green or something. Um, so so now I have to have information on my computer, I have to present the information to my phone, and then after I do the whole presentation, I have to go back and upload the data with the video onto Facebook, and then take the video off Facebook and put it on YouTube. Now that's what I was doing at 2 o'clock this morning. Why not? So the more experience, the better things are, hopefully. So I did that. I got up at 6, and it's very hard to get out of bed after 4 hours sleep. It usually involves crawling across the floor on my hands and knees into the kitchen
Mm-hmm.
and into the shower to try to have a shower to wake myself up. I did that, had some breakfast, wrote some emails, got on my exercise bike, cycled for 1 hour, going nowhere very fast. Um, uh, um, I think I did when I got off the exercise bicycle. My legs and my arms were shaking. It's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's like maybe I did a bit too much. It's probably not a good. Just like I was like, I don't feel too good. Anyway, I can recommend something. I recommend music while being on the exercise bicycle. I know this might sound logical that music with exercise is goes together practically, but I've tried listening to music. I've tried watching films while I'm on the exercise bikes. Like I want to do two things at one time. I've tried, surfing the internet. I've tried watching documentaries. And what I'm doing now is I find concerts from bands that I like, and I watch
Mm-hmm.
the concert while I'm on the exercise bike. And that's what I was doing this morning. And it was great because YouTube is full of endless videos of stupid people doing stupid things and concerts, and lots of people have collected lots of data, and it's so nice to be able to use other people's collections.
Mm-hmm.
Now we don't have time to collect things together ourselves because life is life, but it's nice that we can. It's nice that other people collect information and data, and we have access to their information and data, and um, it's kind of cool. And what else? Oh, what's that noise? So strange noises in the background. What is it now?
It's the dishwasher
Ah, okay.
because I can turn it on when I'm not at home because last about 2 or 3 weeks ago I had a problem with that, so now I don't believe it. So
Yeah, you don't trust it, basically.
yes.
You don't trust it. I don't know if you can believe in a washing machine or a dishwasher. It's kind of more of a religious kind of thing. Sort of believe in God or something like that. You could actually pray to your dishwasher, right? I mean, you could do that, I suppose. It would probably not be too strange in the modern world, right? Um, so that was my morning. It took me an hour to get out of the flat. I decided I'm getting out of the flat and I'm going to the office and I'm going to do this. It took me 1 hour to get out of the flat.
That's normal.
But I was thinking, why does it take so? Why did it take so long? Why does it take 1 hour to get out of the flat? Because I'm obsessed with time and timing things and organizing things and in trying to find more efficient ways to do things. And it's an hour to get out of the flat. It's just insane. So, what else? Any other observations from this morning? I'm trying to ignore my neighbor who is still making a huge amount of noise. Which would, it sounds like my neighbor is bouncing a basketball in their
Mm-hmm.
in their flat. Which of course would be completely crazy. So
Yes.
obviously they're not bouncing a basket. Obviously they're doing something else. But uh, God knows. It is in the back of. I've got 1 more month. I'm going to be in the flat for 1 more month. In fact, exactly 1 more month.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly 1 more month. I'm going to be in the flat. And the question is, can I survive in the flat without killing my neighbor? This is a test. This is a real test. Now I don't want to kill anybody. I'm a relatively passive person. I'm a strong man. Strong men go for peace and not war. So, uh, so I try to avoid all situations of conflict. Yeah, I'm just not sure if I can avoid a conflict here. I've imagined in myself, I've got a picture in my head of me punching my neighbor in the face, which is not good. I was imagining it in my head this morning. I just imagine my fist going through their face. It's a woman as well, so that obviously is.
Okay.
You can't hit women. Bullshit to that, right? I mean, anyone who deserves to be hit should be hit, basically. Right. So sorry. If women want equal opportunities, welcome to the real world. Right? You want equal opportunities? Okay, that's fine. You want to live in a man's world? Okay. Okay. Let's do it. Oh no, but I'm a woman. No, that's not an argument.
Yes, that's not an argument.
It's absolutely. What else? Oh, one more language thing that I realized this morning. I'm always making these little language connections, and everything has a double meaning. Almost everything. Almost everything has a double meaning, and I realized um, a couple of things actually, not just one thing. The word story. The story. The root of story is store. Store means to be able to hold, like a library of information. And stories in the history were how people remembered things. I just thought I didn't make the connection between store, as in memory, and the word story. I didn't realize they were connected. So that was one connection. Next connection, it's about girls. Makeup. Okay, so girls, but the lipstick and the eyeshadow and look at that, the nails and the penciled in eyebrows and all the other ridiculously stupid things that they do. So the word makeup has two meanings. One is what you put on your face, and as a verb, to make up something means to create something which is not real. For example, a story. So it's like when you put on makeup, it's fake.
Yes.
It's there in the language. The actual term makeup means to be fake or not real. So I was just thinking about that term this morning. I was thinking about language. Right, things that go through my head as I'm working. And I also got lots of emails from people today because Easter weekend is coming up and people want to reschedule and reorganize and reschedule, and I'm doing Tetris with my life. Okay. Trying to get everything to fit together, and for my new and for the new flat that I want to move into, which I've found a new place. The landlord wants 3 months plus rent in advance, and so I was talking with him, and we made some agreements. He said, "Okay, now I want to sign the contract 1 month before you move in." Oh, okay, and when you sign the contract, I want you to pay when you sign the contract. So I'm like, okay, so this is like 4 months of rent you want in advance, basically, because you want all the money paid 1 month before anything happens. And I don't know what to think about this. I don't know whether to just pay it and shut up, or to say, look, this is a bit silly. Maybe I should just pay it and shut up. Maybe sometimes the less you say, the more things go away.
And what happened?
Oh, I haven't done anything yet. He said he wanted me to sign everything and pay everything tomorrow, and I said that I sent him a mail back asking if we could do it on Monday or Tuesday next week. I number one, never say no, and number two, if you feel like you need a little bit more time, take the time. You're gonna make the time first, but make the time and then take the time. If you feel like you need more time, don't rush into making a quick judgment or a quick decision if you're unsure that it's the right decision to make. In general life situations, if it's the last second of the game and you've got only one chance, then life is a bit different at that point in time. But I wanted to give myself a little bit more time, and I got contacted by 2 other people who said, "Oh, we have flats, and we want to rent our flat to you." And I said I will go and see them, not because I want to rent the flats, just because I'm curious about what people are offering and how much money. I don't think that I will take any of the other flats. I think I've already decided about what I want. But I still want to collect data, collect information about the market and people's ideas and who knows about the future, right? If you've got information, you can do something. If you don't have information, you can't do anything. So I'm waiting on that. I'm trying to sell my car. Called the garage, called the man in the garage 5 times. Called him 5 times, no response. So I don't know if that means he's really busy or the deal is off. I'm not sure. In this situation, no information is not good because I want to sell my car ASAP, as soon as possible, because it's now a liability, and that means that it's an expense and it's a problem, and the sooner I don't have to deal with that problem, the sooner I can solve other problems. And so it's very important to me that problem gets fixed as soon as possible, because of life. Solve one problem and you can go and do something else and something else. And I've got plans for my life. I've got plans, things I want to do. And what else? Oh, one final thing. You see, you shouldn't have asked me, right? One final thing is that I've been doing a little bit of self-analysis, and do you ever have an idea that's in the back of your mind that you can't get out of your head? Have you ever had that experience? Like, and I don't mean something that's like something bad that happened or something negative. Maybe it's in a shop and you see a T-shirt or a jacket or something. You're like, oh, that's really nice, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm not going to buy it. And then you go away, but it's still in the back of your mind, like, oh, that was nice. Or maybe you saw some trainers, or you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
It stays in your head, and it's like, have you ever seen that game Pacman? Do you know what I'm talking about, Pacman? One of the very first arcade games, where there was a little creature and there was food and. Really? It must be a generational thing. It must be because I'm so old, right? that that only my generation knows what Pacman is. I think they even made a film about it, but it was so terrible that nobody actually watched it.
In general, I don't know those games, so
oh wow!
A lot of people.
Well, if you type Pacman into Google, you can actually play the game. Pacman. If you type it into Google and hit enter, you can actually play the game. Can you see it?
One moment.
You just type in Pacman into Google search. It gives you the game. Can you? Oh, maybe your computer is different from mine.
I need a program to download to.
Oh, never mind. Here's an image. Here's an image file that you
But
got.
maybe I know. Yes. Yes.
Right, Pacman, one of the world's greatest arcade games. Not that that's really important, but many a childhood in the 1980s was wasted playing this game. Right, the little yellow ball eating the pieces of food. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the game is your brain,
Okay.
right? This could have a lot of different perspectives here, right? The game is your brain, and like the idea is the Pac-Man is the idea, and it eats everything else until there's nothing left. Does that make any sense to you? No, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Okay, right. So, okay, you go into the shop and you see the T-shirt. You think that's a really nice T-shirt, and you said, "Oh, I'm not going to buy it today." And you go out of the shop, and there's a lot of things in your head, a lot of things you have to do. It's a busy day, whatever. But this idea of the T-shirt keeps coming back. It's like the T-shirt eats all the other ideas and all the other thoughts, so that the other thoughts don't exist anymore. So that there's only one thought left, which is the T-shirt, the T-shirt, the T-shirt, the T-shirt. I'm not getting anywhere with this explanation, am I, at all?
I understand you, but I don't understand why that T-shirt.
Oh, okay. It's anything that you can't get out of your head, right? Last week in our session, you said there are some things that your boyfriend does that he forgets about, but you can't get it out of your head. So there's an example of something which you don't want it in your head, but it's there. It comes back every now and then. You think about it. It's really annoying. And I'm not getting anywhere with this, am I? It's like there's a wall. There's a wall. I'm not breaking down the wall yet. Okay. Let's move on to talk about how it affects me. Very often I have an idea in the back of my mind. And it may not be important. In the big picture, it might not be important. But this small idea slowly eats all the other ideas in my mind until the small idea gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until all I can think about is the small idea. And I've spent years fighting against this. And I know when I think about something, I'm like, that small idea is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until I do something about it. And there's nothing I can do to stop it. It doesn't matter how much I meditate or how much I focus or how much I say, it might not be a good idea. It's just, that's just it. It's like when I wanted to buy the car that I have. It's like I saw the car, I tested the car, and I was like, that's it. I'm not going to be happy until I buy the car because I know the car's right for me. I've been fighting against a lot of these ideas, and I decided now to accept them all.
Okay.
I decided to trust my intuition. I'm calling it my intuition. I don't really know if it's my intuition. It might be insanity. I'm not sure. I've decided to trust my intuition, that if my intuition tells me that it's good, I go with it now. I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to deliberate. I'm not going to think about it for a long period of time. I'm just going to go with it. I'm not gonna fight against it. I'm gonna go with the flow of the idea and trust that there's something in my head, hopefully, which is more powerful than all the things I can understand.
Mm-hmm.
And that maybe in order to develop, I need to trust my intuition a little bit more and to go with certain ideas rather than fight against them. Because my experience is that fighting against things very often just makes those things bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And and giving energy to your enemy is not a productive process. So, not that thoughts are enemies, but um, that's a new perspective that I'm working on developing. So this is why I have to sell the car. This
Mm-hmm.
is why I have to do this. This is why this flat is the right flat, because something in my head says this will work, this will work, this will work. Okay, I'm going to trust the fact that I don't know all the tiny little details, but it seems that everything fits together.
Mm-hmm.
Which might be the road to hell. I don't know. I don't know yet. Well, we'll find out. Uh, we'll find out. So there you go. That's been my that's where I'm at. This is where I'm at right now. So that has been my morning. Um, I can also talk about coincidences as well. Coincidences. Um, just as to share a little bit of something that happened yesterday. So a new student came to the school yesterday, and we sat down and we talked. And as this and as the student was leaving after our meeting, I had another student who was arriving
Mm-hmm.
exactly at the moment that they were leaving, and these two students were friends who had not seen each other for 20 years.
Mm.
They grew up together in the same street and played together. They hadn't seen each other for 20 years. And I was thinking, what's the possibility? What is in a town here of 70 plus, maybe 80,000 people, what is the possibility that at the same moment, one of my students will be leaving my office and another of my students will be arriving, and these people will be long lost friends who haven't seen each other for 20 years? And if it was, if one of them had been 1 minute later or earlier, they would have missed each other
Mm-hmm.
completely. What is the possibility that that meeting is going to happen?
But that situations happen a lot, I think. I have experience of a lot of experiences like that.
Yeah, maybe it's more common than we think. Um, maybe
I
it's
think
not.
it's not common, but it's just those special situations that you told that maybe 1 minute was between meet them or not meet them. So I think it's special, but it happened a lot.
Yeah, I also believe that miracles happen every day. We just don't see them happening. um, yeah, yeah. And for some people they're big miracles, and for some people they're small miracles.
Mm.
Pancakes with Nutella could be considered a small miracle by some people. Right. Um, moving on to things, other things, so many other little things. Um, oh, here's another little thing. I'm just gonna empty everything that's in my mind. So here's another little thing. It's just a tiny, tiny 1 minute thing, right? I don't know if I talked before about when I was in Scotland talking with companies about the internet in Great Britain, and we discussed that? We didn't discuss that. Okay. Well, that was this big challenge and this big problem because um, if I was going to move to Scotland, I needed to set up an internet system for my business, and the speeds of the internet were very important. And I had this great debate, almost argument, on the telephone with somebody from Britain's biggest internet company, who said that their internet was the fastest in the world, which had a download speed of, was it 30 megabytes per whatever, and an upload speed of 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or something megabytes per whatever. And I just checked the data for the Orange FiberNet connection in Banska Bystrica.
Mm.
The download speed is 250 and the upload speed is 100.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told by the largest company in Britain that this was impossible. I was told it's a physical impossibility.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, I live in impossible world,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I was just saying that because I've got telecom papers here on my desk that I have to organize and sort out some problems. But it's very interesting. If people will tell you that something is impossible or something that doesn't exist, experts whose profession, who spent 5 years at university and whose job it is to know everything about something, will tell you that something is impossible and something doesn't exist, and it's bullshit. So many people are full of bullshit. Even professional people who should know better. And this person was in Britain was telling me basically I'm crazy that what I'm talking about doesn't exist in the world. And here we are living in the middle of nowhere. And it exists.
Mm.
So just another reason why Slovakia is probably the best place in the world to live. After Bora Bora, Switzerland, New Zealand, and the Seychelles, right? And the Marshall Islands, and the South Pacific. Anyway, never mind.